Suking Pro's Trial Teaching Notes. When I walked to the door of the 20 Education Center, I just felt uneasy. Speaking of teaching English, it is not that I have no experience. Moreover, the teaching materials were prepared last night. They are in an orderly manner and can be explained for more than an hour. What makes me uneasy is that I don't know how to try it. Who are the majority of students in this summer class? Are there many people listening during the trial teaching? Who are you looking for? The concierge stopped me and asked. I hurriedly took out the notification letter from my pocket, pulled out the wrinkled mimeograph letter, and read the few sentences that I had memorized by heart again. The concierge was already impatient. Are you here to apply? Please come to the 6th classroom. I followed him there. There were about 20 or 30 people sitting in the classroom, both men and women, old and young, but none of them looked like students. I staggered and didn't dare to go in, and the concierge came with another modern girl. Isn't that Miss Zhang? Why are you here? Zhang Busheng greeted me shamefully. I also feel extremely embarrassed. I came here to try playing because I was idle and depressed during the summer vacation. What about you? Zhang explained to me with a red face. It's not just for the fun of watching the excitement. I tried my best to pretend not to care. I felt so panicked, as if I had done something bad and was afraid of being discovered. I smiled bitterly and followed her. Go into the classroom. The classroom is square and freshly painted, making everyone's face look like a thick layer of frost, making it lively and unnatural. We lowered our heads and squeezed through the gap between the tables, and sat down in the second row at the back. We looked back and looked outside. 1. To the concierge led the applicants in one after another with a contemptuous look, and pointed to the classroom in a bad tone. Then he went straight to the door, leaving the applicant timidly staggering at the door, and finally reluctantly walked in. Their clothes were so beautiful, but their expressions were so pitiful. After finally waiting for the person in charge of the library to arrive, he stood on top and patted his waist, said a few polite words as usual, and then told him how to teach. Oh my God. It turns out that everyone is required to take turns being a student and a teacher. One person goes to the top to speak, and the others listen below. The time limit is 5 minutes. At that time, 3 women ran away. The order was determined by drawing lots, and I drew number 29. Number 1 was a young man wearing a light gray gown. The person in charge temporarily gave him a textbook, opened it to a random page, and asked him to go up and try it out first. At that time, 2 more judges came and sat in the last row with the one who came first, very close to me. This is arithmetic. It's geometry. I'm here to prove this theorem to you. The man in the light gray gown spoke, his voice sounding like he was crying. After I finished speaking, I picked up the chalk and started drawing on the blackboard. The first time I drew the straight line, it was crooked, and the second time I drew the triangle too small. I simply tried to clear the blackboard and wanted to redraw it, but the bell was turned off below. He was also said to be a top student at National XX University. I heard the evaluator laughing from behind. Then those who taught English, those who taught Chinese, and those who taught theoretical knowledge all rushed up one after another. There were no preparations, no students, and the time was so tight. Everyone was at a loss. The people in the library had long faces to hold back their laughter. The Chinese teacher read other words. The English teacher made a mistake in grammar. The math teacher forgot the formula. She didn't have the heart to listen to other people's jokes. He only felt that in his heart jumping hard. Number 29. I walked to the podium step by step as if I was being pronounced dead. I suddenly felt embarrassed. What should I say next? Dear classmates? Or gentlemen? My throat was very dry, and my eyes were vaguely looking at the page they assigned me to teach. It seemed like a story, but I didn't know what it was talking about. I was just thinking about deciding to read it myself first. Unexpectedly, I made a mistake, and the book fell to the ground. I quickly picked it up and turned over the original page, but I couldn't find it anymore. The bell rang, and I hurriedly got off the stage. This is simply a joke on us unemployed people. I was ashamed and angry, desperately holding back tears. Finally, when the trial lesson was over, everyone rushed out like a swarm. Some even surrounded the master and asked how to make a decision. The anxious look was really sad to see. I ran away without saying a word. The shadows of cars, rickshaws, pedestrians, and traffic lights were all blurred. I seemed to hear Zhang shouting from behind, but the sound gradually became distant, faint, and finally disappeared. Maybe they suspect I'm crazy. Maybe they will laugh at me for being so overconfident. Who knew that my diploma was #1 in the College of Education?
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.